My sperm donor child just showed up claiming I promised his mother I'd raise him if anything happened to her. When I was in college, I donated to a sperm bank to make some extra money and never thought about it again. That was 14 years ago. So last week I got a certified letter that made me drop my coffee. I called the number and a woman named Diane picked up. She said, "My sister passed away and she told me you promised to raise her son." I told her I had never met her sister in my life. She laughed and said, "I have letters with your signature and no one will believe you over a grieving aunt. Show up to court or I tell everyone you abandoned your child." I felt the walls closing in because I had just gotten engaged and my fiancé had no idea I ever made that donation. That night, I sat my fiancé down and told her everything. She didn't say a word, and when I finished, she asked, "Are you sure the letters are fake?" The doubt in her voice made my chest tight. My lawyer flipped through the pages and shook his head. He said, "These look legitimate. If you can't prove they're forged, you're going to lose." I felt like I couldn't breathe. Diane called me again and didn't even wait for me to say hello. She said, "You should be thanking me. My sister left him a trust fund and someone responsible needs to manage it. Sign control over to me and your little secret stays between us." I asked why she couldn't take custody herself since she was his aunt. She scoffed like I was the dumbest person she had ever spoken to and said, "I shouldn't have to explain myself to you, but since you're too slow, I'll make this simple. Sign the papers or I send every letter to your fiancé tonight, and trust me, she will believe me because I am very convincing." I hung up and sat at my computer for hours going through every letter line by line. Then I saw it. One letter mentioned dropping the boy off at a specific school 8 years ago, but that school didn't open until 3 years ago. She had finally slipped up. I called the sperm bank and the woman went quiet, then said, "Sir, this is strange because the mother did choose a guardian, but it's not you. It's someone named Warren." I called Warren that night and told him everything. He went silent for so long I thought he hung up. Then his voice cracked and he said, "She told the boy I didn't want him. She's been telling him for months that I abandoned him just like his dad did. I have bank records proving she's already stolen $40,000 from his trust fund, and that's why she can't let me near him." I felt sick. Diane called one last time the night before the hearing. She said, "Sign the papers or tomorrow I destroy your life in front of everyone you love." I said, "I'll see you in court." She laughed and said, "You really think you can beat me? I've been planning this for months." My fiancé grabbed my hand and said, "We're ending this tomorrow." Diane's lawyer finishes reading the letters, and Diane lets out a loud sob, then looks directly at my fiancé and smirks. The judge says, "Mr. Whitmore, these are serious allegations, so what do you have to say?" Diane whispers loud enough for everyone to hear, "This should be good. Watch him lie." I stand up and say, "Your Honor, one of these letters mentions a school that didn't exist until 5 years after it was supposedly written." The judge leans forward and Diane rolls her eyes. I say, "I also contacted the sperm bank and the mother's chosen guardian was Warren, Diane's ex-husband. She chose him because she didn't trust her own sister." Diane launches out of her chair and screams, "My sister would never choose him over me. I deserve that money more than anyone." The judge bangs her gavel, but Diane keeps screaming about how she sacrificed everything. Then the courtroom door creaks open. Warren walks in holding a folder and Diane's whole body goes stiff. He says, "Your Honor, I have bank statements showing Diane has withdrawn $40,000 from this boy's trust fund." Diane spins toward Warren and screams, "You were supposed to stay out of this. I had everything under control." The judge bangs her gavel and says, "You are in contempt of this court." Diane looks around with wild eyes and then looks directly at the boy in the back row. She screams, "This is your fault. If you had just kept your mouth shut, none of this would have happened." The whole courtroom gasps. The boy doesn't flinch. He just looks at Warren and whispers, "Mom said you'd come for me."